Welcome back. President Cyril Ramaphosa has announced a national dialogue to address a wide range of issues such as unemployment, land reform, gender-based violence and poor governance. He has also appointed a group of eminent persons made up of 31 prominent South Africans from various sectors such as business, labour, sports and traditional leaders to guide the process. The dialogue is set to take place in two phases. The first one is in August, where representatives will engage citizens, and then a national convention will be held early next year. We are now joined on the line by one of the eminent people who have been appointed, the founder of Gift of the Givers, Dr. Imtiaz Sooliman. Dr. Sooliman, a very good morning to you. Thank you so much for making time for us. What does this moment represent for you personally as Dr. Imtiaz Sooliman?
Good morning, Aldrin. Well, to me, of course, it shows that our work has been recognized by government. We're very happy to be involved because whatever we can do to contribute towards the upliftment of our country, this is just yet another mechanism. We've been involved for 32 years trying to make differences in the lives of the people. And the more platforms we have, the more opportunities we have, the faster we can work, the more effective we can work. And to me, to be called onto this body of the eminent persons group, it's more about the joy to serve better, faster, and more efficiently, and then to have direct access to government and the presidency to advise, because this is what this group is all about, to advise and to give direction and guidance as to what should be done. So I think it's a great opportunity for me and everybody else on this group, and the additional people that can come on afterwards, because we have only one focus. We want to make a difference for our country, for our people. They waited before 94, and they waited after 94. We need to make things better, faster.
Yeah, and Dr. Sooliman, just take us through that moment. What was it, a phone call that was put through? Was it an email that popped up? How did we get to the point where you are now part of the 31?
I got a message, from the president's office, and they said, they want to talk to me. I was putting some engagement, so I saw it much later. And then I said, okay, now's the time you can call. And then they asked, we're forming this eminent persons group, and we'd like to know if you would be ready to be involved. So I said, just give me a little bit of an explanation, and then, which they did. And I said, yes, it'll be great to serve the country, exactly what I've just told you now. It'll be great to serve the country. I look forward to such an opportunity. As long as we can make a significant contribution and a difference to the lives of the people, yes, I'm interested. And then they said, you'll get a call from the president at some later stage. I was a little bit cheeky there. I said, make sure you book the call before he calls, because I'm in so many engagements, I may miss his call and not take it. So the guy laughed on the other side and he said, we'll do that. But subsequently to that, they sent an email with a description of kind of things they need to do, more like what the president spoke about on Tuesday night. And he said, look, you need to say yes or no. You have to respond to the email to say whether you're accepting or not, which I did. And then it was followed by a subsequent letter from the president himself to say, thank you very much for accepting your nomination and being on the body, and this, that, and the other is what we're going to do. So that's where the process stopped. And then last week, somebody else called me to ask, did you accept? I said, yes, I already got a letter of acceptance. And thereafter, the announcement was made on Tuesday night. We didn't know the announcement was going to be made on Tuesday night. In fact, I didn't even hear it. Somebody called me to say they heard the announcement on Tuesday night.
So you missed that live moment when the president...
I don't have time to watch. I'm busy all the time.
Yeah, and when did that first engagement start? Do you remember?
Yes, 21st May.
The 21st of May.
Sorry. It was the 14th of May. I was in Durban. Actually, I was at the place of prayer. I just finished at the place of prayer in the Riverside Mosque. It was sunset, after the sunset prayer. When I got to the car, I saw the message. It was on the 14th of May. It was the same day as Africa Tourism that was taking place in Durban.
Oh, the Travel in Daba.
Yes, same one.
Okay. Now explain to us, Dr. Sooliman, and I don't know if you guys have had a session as yet following the announcement that has been made by the president around what happens now up until the 15th of August.
I don't think anything happens because, first of all, we don't know who the other guys are going to be. No one knows who the next one is going to be. We only saw the names ourselves on Tuesday night. I'm not sure if there's going to be an interim discussion with us, but they initially told me the president wants to call a meeting with this group on the 18th of July. So I'm not sure if that 15th of August is referring to the same meeting of 18th July, and it has been moved to 15th August, or 15th August is a wider consultation, I'm not sure. But to me, the most logical thing would be for the group to meet and decide with each other what we're going to do. And also to first see if the group is the correct group. Have we missed out somebody? To me, from those names, I don't know all the people. I know most of them, and I've met most of them also. But there's no youth representation there. And then, of course, people tell you it's an eminent persons group. Now, from the way things work in the world, eminent generally means old people. So we had all the old guys there, years of experience. But we have to change the system. You have to get participation of young people, because things are very different with the youth now than it was in our time. And we need to know what their concerns are, what their worries are. They have lots of good ideas. Kids today are far more waked up than in our time with the technology and the things they do and the processes they go through. Even you talk to 4-year-old kids, their minds are completely different. So we need youth participation to say, what you need from our side. If this is going to be an all-inclusive group that's really seriously looking to fix the country, you can't leave anybody out.
Yeah, and even if you look at the median age of South Africa, it's estimated to be at around 27 years or 28 years, somewhere there, which then speaks to a constituency that should be represented because they are in the majority. Is this something that you will bring up with the president, or maybe when you do meet with the other groups, with the other members?
That'll be my first recommendation. Because if they're serious, look, I don't belong to the rubber stamp society. I'm a very blunt and frank guy. I say it like it is. So if it's meant, if you're really serious about fixing it, yes, that's the first recommendation I'm going to make, that we need to get some youth in. And I'm sure it's not a restricted group. In all fairness, how do you choose from 65 million people and try to limit the group? It's impossible. So it's a good start, and the group itself can probably have the power to bring in more people. I have no idea what the powers are going to be and what we can do, but bring in more people, because suggestions, it's not only about, suggesting or finding out what the problems are. It has to be solution-oriented, otherwise we're wasting our time. So we'll say, okay, to make progress, we need youth. You can select who you want, whoever wants to select them, it's fine. Or they may ask the committee to select, I don't know. But you have to bring the youth in. And anything else, I'm sure the other 30 people got some other ideas too. And maybe they want to suggest something. As long as we all suggest, decide together and get it done, and of course find tangible results. And to wait, till August, and to wait till next year, I think to me it's too far away. We should start suggesting immediately, because we know, a lot of us do know what could be done and how it should be done, and we can start suggesting that straight away. But the key word is, we want to see implementation. We don't want suggestions filed away like research.
Oh, Dr. Sooliman, apologies, we seem to have lost you there. We just lost that audio to you. Let's just quickly see if we can bring Dr. Imtiaz Sooliman back on. Dr. Sooliman, let's try again. You were still explaining the urgency of dealing with these issues.
Yeah, we can't be sitting and having discussions when, there's so many people in need in the country. We need to implement. It has to be a 2- or 3-way process at the same time. Yes, the group will meet, but in the meantime, the people who have been selected obviously have ideas of what needs to be done and how it needs to be done. Do we have to wait for next year for that to happen? As part of a suggestion, again, we need to start implementing things immediately. There are tangible ways of doing things. There's low fruit. There's things that need to be fixed, which can be fixed. Don't wait for a discussion for next year when there are things that can be done this afternoon, to be honest.
Yep.
And those are the kind of things that I want to bring in. I'm sure the other guys got their own ideas. I don't know, but this is my thought processes.
Yeah, and I know perhaps maybe you may not have an answer with regards to this, and this is in relation to the budget. So you speak about the urgency of dealing with some of these issues, because we know what these issues are. During the budget 3.0, the Minister of Finance delivering this budget said that there is actually no money that has been budgeted for the national dialogue to take place. Do you think that there is a possibility at all of drawing funds from private donors, individuals, and I think that you have some experience in this part as well, to say let's bring together the resources and make sure that we're able to deal with these issues that need to be dealt with? And are you able to speak around whether there is any compensation that is offered to the Eminent Group members?
To be honest, I thought it's a voluntary thing. I didn't think of any compensation yet. I thought it's called voluntary, in intervention for people who want to come and serve. So that didn't cross my mind at all. Maybe yes, it's cost of people to fly from one place to the other, but they said it'll be most of it will be virtual. So I don't think that the cost should be too high, to be honest. And yes, besides the getting support from corporates for this dialogue. We need this group is the government saying in a very humble manner that we need the help of civil society and South Africans to help us fix the country together. That's a very humble approach. So my call to corporates would be, like you guys are supporting us in everything that we're doing, let's extend the support. I don't know if the National Dialogue needs funding. I have no idea. They have to say what funding they need. But other than that, let's increase the support for upgrading the country into different categories, whether it's infrastructure, health, toilets at schools, job opportunities, investing in the economy, using the money that's sparked off the trillions of rands that are not being reinvested in the country, bring them, start circulating money in the economy. Let's create opportunities for all, give more bursaries to kids, give them an opportunity. I mean, I met a lady 3 weeks ago at St. Anne's College. I spoke there. She waited for a while and she was shy to come to me. And then she came to my car window when I was about to leave and she knocked and she started sobbing. So I asked her, what happened to you? She said, because of you, I have this opportunity. My daughter goes to St. Anne's College. I come from Koopsville. Koopsville is a very, very poor area in Pietermaritzburg. And she said, I'm in this school because you funded my studies. I'm here now and my daughter's got special access to the school. And when I looked at that, I realized, sometimes you put a kid through medical school from an informal settlement. It takes care of his family and the neighboring people. Right now, we're funding kids. We're looking forward to fund 10 children who came from informal settlements in the Western Cape and all got 7 A's and got accepted in medical school in Stellenbosch University. You know what a hard 12 years that must have been for those kids. What the Black Management Forum, we went to their homes. They had no food in their house. We gave food parcels to the children and their families. But these are the kind of kids that got the talent, and we need corporates to come forward to give these kids an opportunity. They will make a huge difference socially and medically. And all those kids said, we want to make a huge difference to the lives of our communities.
Yeah.
These are the kind of success stories that we need support from corporate South Africa where government doesn't have the money.
And those are the type of children that are already shown resilience and ability to overcome struggles of this nature. But I just quickly want to tell you, Dr. Imtiaz Sooliman, that we're running a poll today asking about the national dialogues, its significance, but also whether we believe, or our viewers believe, that it will be able to deal with the real issues that are facing the country. And 63% of the respondents are saying that they don't think that anything would change. So you already have a level of despondency with this group that has been set up and the national dialogue starting off. But what's your response to it, and how do we get all South Africans, to buy into a national dialogue with the purpose of changing our fortunes as a country?
That call is not unexpected. I expected it because we've had so many discussions and so many groups and so many different kinds of platforms. To me, it's about building trust. I have a simple policy. Let's show 1% progress. Find some problem, there's many, get the solution, implement immediately. And said, as a result of this group, this was implemented, 1% success. And then you go for 2 and 3 and 5. You can't fix 100% one time, it's impossible. The years of neglect and infrastructure collapse and, state capture and corruption, you're not going to fix everything in 1 or 2 weeks. They need to understand that this is going to take time. But while saying that, if we have tangible results on every week and seeing something significant happen and a significant announcement and rebuild, this is about rebuilding trust. Because people are disillusioned and they say there's so many different groups and nothing, discussion groups, and nothing happens. People don't want to talk. That's why I said we can't wait till next year and say we're going to have a meeting then. What we have now, start implementing. And I can give lots of suggestions what can be done this afternoon and can be fixed. Because we do that every day. Yeah. So, so we need to see that kind of tangible impact. And hopefully, as the word spreads and then everybody starts saying, okay, let's give it a chance, then you'll get total buy-in from the rest of the country. Yeah. It's not going to happen overnight.
And speaking about the work that you do every day, right now being in Gqeberha as well, in the Eastern Cape, the epicenter of the storm that has been experienced in various provinces. What's your assessment as a gift of the givers, and perhaps maybe some of the urgent needs that some displaced residents are in need of?
Well, first of all, I must say that again, the power of cooperation. The Premier of the Eastern Cape, the MSc of Local Government, the Provincial Disaster Management, the mayors of the 6 different districts, or 7 districts, have all been in touch with us from before the storm came. We have a very good working relationship with the government. And of course, we want sight within minutes when the disaster struck, helping to move people to halls, bringing hot meals. As an aside, I'll talk to you about hot meals I need 10 seconds for that. But hot meals, blankets, and working together to move the space. There's about thousands of, virtually estimated about 10,000 people have to be displaced. Lots of shacks that have been washed away. But the greater need is that at Kumbi, where 22 children and the driver got washed away. 7 children were found, yesterday, tragically, they passed on. And we got a call yesterday afternoon to say that the search and rescue teams of the Eastern Cape are totally exhausted. As I'm speaking to you, my teams are on the way to the airport right now to fly from Joburg to Mthatha. Water is rescued, but it's not going to be a rescue anymore. Tragically, it's going to be a recovery team. So they asked for a water recovery team, which we're sending. They're on the way to the airport right now. They will come and support. We're still supporting them with hot meals, blankets, mattresses, hygiene packs, sanitary pads, diapers. Talking about hot meals, one of the urgent things that this eminent persons group has to address, poverty, hunger is endemic in South Africa. There's a huge crisis level of hunger in South Africa. When you go to disasters, fire and storms and floods, people don't ask you for building kits anymore. They used to do that 2-3 years ago. The first thing they ask you is for food. And when you watch them eat, the kids are starving. In Loanle, in Western Cape, in Cape Town, last week, Saturday, we gave food to the fires and water-affected victims. The children and kids, adults from the other side that were not affected, came to the fire side and the water side. I said fire and water because we had fire and we had water in the same place, for storm disasters. And they came and they were starving. And we're noticing this everywhere we're going. There's huge hunger in this country. This is probably the number one issue we have to address as a government and as a people and as corporates. Actually, I sent an instruction to my corporate team this week, 2 days ago, to say all the corporates who fund us, whatever they fund us for, infrastructure, hospitals, schools, education, tell them to take out at least 50,000 or more to put into a fund to feed hungry people in South Africa.